Hey guys, what is going on? Anthony here with Pistons Talk. Hope you guys are having a great night so far. What I wanted to do on this channel is start doing these post-game podcast reactions of the game. Now, the Detroit Pistons just played their first summer league game, and I think a lot of us probably want to talk about it. I want to talk about it with you guys because I think there were key moments of this game, and there's certain players that I want to talk about individually because I think a lot of us are probably going to talk just about Bobby Klintman and Ron Holland, but I also have Tolo Smith, Donis Jenkins, and Marcus Sasser that I do want to talk about individually. So these podcasts probably going forward aren't going to be any more than maybe 10, 15 minutes at the max. I don't want to do like hour and a half, podcasts that I usually do on the weekends, like on Sundays. But just like little post game reactions. Let me know if you guys mess with it. If you want these going forward when the season does start, just leave a comment below if this is something you'd be interested in watching after every game. But I just want to test it out, see if you guys like it or not. So we're just going to get straight into it. Ron Holland had a pretty good debut. I think there were positives and negatives. Scrolling on Twitter, Pistons fans overreact to everything, and that's okay. It is. Because I overreact to stuff sometimes, and you guys call me out on that, and you guys keep me in check. So I do want to talk about Ron Holland, and I thought he had a pretty good debut. I thought there were positive key moments that we can talk about, but there were also moments in the game where it seemed rushed. It seemed like he had a little bit of butterflies, and that's to be expected. He just played his first NBA official game in the Las Vegas Summer League with tons of people watching him. You had a lot of stars out there. I mean, you had Richard Hamilton, former Piston, watching you on the sidelines with his son. Cade was there. Ashton the trainer was there. Tim Hardaway was in the building. JB Bickerstaff was there. Trajan Langdon was there. He had some comments second quarter or so. If you guys did watch the game tonight, you probably heard Trajan talk, but I thought overall Ron did pretty well. Now I'm going to pull up his box score for you guys that did not watch the game, or maybe you didn't know the Pistons had a summer league game today. So he played 24 minutes, had 15 points, 7 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 steal, 2 blocks, shot 5 out of 15, so 33% from the field, 0 for 2 from 3, 5 out of 6 from the free throw line, and had 2 turnovers and 2 personal fouls. I thought for a debut for your 5th overall pick, I liked it. His first basket was this nice floater. He had a play where he ran in transition, went coast to coast. I think the first 2 quarters, he looked really solid. I thought coming out of halftime, I don't know if the energy was down. I don't know if he was a little tired, but he was getting stripped by a Philadelphia 76ers player. I don't remember his last name off the top of my head right now, but there were back-to-back plays where he just got stripped on the same play, basically just trying to force something going into the paint. And I think that's something that he can work on. I'm not going to overreact like some Pistons fans are saying he's going to be in the G League, because you go on Twitter right now, like it's so toxic because he had a rough game shooting the basketball. But I thought there were a lot of positives with him. And I think long-term, what you have to look at, and this is probably what Trajan looked at when he was evaluating him and drafting him, is he's going to be a player that is a project player, and they're going to be very careful how they develop him. He's not going to start. Like, we can all agree there. Ron Holland is not going to start in the starting lineup for your Detroit Pistons. He's probably going to come off the bench in a reserve role and just really watch the game from the bench and, go at it in practice with Sasser Thompson and the vets like Tobias Harris and Tim Hardaway. And I think that's the right approach for him. I really do. I thought there were positive moments today, but there are also moments where I think he can work on. And, it's only July 13th as I'm recording this video, and as you guys are listening to it on the audio side. I thought there were moments where he looked good, but there were also moments where it was a little underwhelming. And I think that he can work on those areas, watch some film, break it down, and see where he can improve. I'm just going to take a quick water break, and we're going to talk about Bobby Klintman next. So, Pistons second round pick, which I think most Pistons fans, if you talk to them right now, you go on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, whatever, Bobby Klintman kind of stole the show. He was really solid out there. I'll pull up his box score for you guys that did not watch the game. So Bobby Klintman, let's see what he had. He had 13 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists, 1 steal. Shot 5 out of the 10 from the field, 3 out of 7 from 3, and 1 turnover. He was a -3 tonight. Holland was a -1. You look good, man. He looked good. He did not look like a second-round pick. I still don't know how he slipped in the second round. It still blows my mind that he was a second round pick. If you're a Piston fan, you're probably happy about that, but he should have been a first round pick. Pistons did actually ink him today for a 4-year contract, almost up to $8 million. I think the exact figure was 7.99 for 4 years for Bobby Klintman. So happy for Bobby and his family and his camp over there. So I know they're happy. I think the Pistons are really high on him as a player, but getting back into the type of game he had, that 3-point shot looks really good, you guys. Like, it looks really good. He's got a really solid form. The shot looks good. Felt like every time he shot it, I thought it was going to go in. He had some, key moments where he was looking to make the right pass. I mean, he had 5 assists tonight at that forward position, which I think it shouldn't go underlooked. I thought, having 5 assists in your summer league debut is something to pay attention to. Maybe he's kind of point forward. You never know, but he looked good out there. He really did. The 3-point shot was falling, but, defensively also, there were key moments where he was playing the passing lanes. He was getting back on defense. He was running back on defense to protect the paint, protect the rim. I honestly think the Pistons really got a really good value with Bobby Klintman, trading all the way up to get him and Wendell Moore, who started in this game for the Detroit Pistons and the Summer League game tonight against the Philadelphia 76ers. But, I mean, he looked really good. Like, I think the Pistons have a really solid rotational piece in Bobby. I don't know where he's going to play, though. I think that's the one question I have. Maybe you guys in the comment section, you guys are smarter than me anyways. You guys probably have a good indication of where he's going to play. Maybe he's a 3, maybe he's a 4. I don't know. I think he's kind of a tweener in between there, but really liked what I saw to Bobby tonight. I honestly think the Pistons definitely got a steal in Bobby. Now, one of the players I did want to talk about next is a two-way guy, and that's Jenkins. Now, when I watched him play, and we'll get to his box score in a minute, he seemed really under control for a guy that went undrafted. Like, his pace, he looked like a seasoned vet out there. I don't know what the Detroit Pistons plans are for him. I don't know what the backup point guard situation is going to be. I know some of you guys that are in our group chat with bunches, you guys are still in the Tyus Jones train. I don't know what's going to happen with him in that situation, but I don't really know if Marcus Sasser is going to be the backup point guard. I don't know if they're going to sign someone, maybe get someone off the waiver wire. I really don't know, but he's got a very interesting game. And pull up his box score real quick for you guys that are wondering what he had. So let's look. He had 10 points, 1 rebound, 5 assists, 3 steals. He was, and 1 block. Can't forget the block. 4 out of 9 from the field, so he shot 44%. 0 for 3 from 3, and he made 2 free throws, and he had 2 turnovers. It was a -22 if you look at the box score. Plus minus is such a weird stat, but I liked his activeness. I don't know, like, again, what the Pistons' plans are for him. Maybe he can take over Xavier Simpson's role for the Motor City Cruise, because he did get a 2-way spot, and Maybe he could be a break the glass emergency point guard. If the Pistons want to use him in that way, I don't know. I'd have to watch him a little bit more to get a better feel and a better opinion about him. But really liked what I saw out of the first game. Just seemed like he was really under control. Didn't really force a lot, but really good player, man. Liked him. I know they challenged a shot where he blocked a shot against one of the 76ers players, but seemed like a really active, guard that the Pistons could possibly invest in. You never know. So I think that the one player that is getting talked about negatively right now, and kind of feel bad, is Marcus Sasser. Now, I'll pull up his box score for you guys because, again, maybe you didn't watch the game. He had 1 point, 0 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 steals. Didn't hit a single shot. He was 0 for 6 from the field, and he was 0 for 4 from 3. And he was a negative 16 tonight. Now, if you guys remember last summer league, Marcus Sasser did struggle quite a bit. And he did in a couple of games he did struggle. I shouldn't say quite a bit. There's a couple of games where it was a little bit underwhelming with him. And then he had like that 40-point game. And I think some people maybe forgot that he did struggle a little bit in his first couple summer league games, but I'm not really too worried about it. It's one summer league game. Like I mentioned earlier with Ron Holland, I wasn't worried about Ron because it's one summer league game. We're not going to sit up here and overreact to one just scrimmage. Because if we do that, then it's just it looks messy. It does, because like Ron could come out in a preseason game and like hook you guys back in, right? Same with Sasser. I thought Sasser was kind of just feeling out the offense, feeling out his summer league teammates. I think he'll bounce back. I'm not worried. He's a good player. We saw him this past season. His minutes were kind of up and down with Monty Williams, but who knows how JB's going to use him? Who knows how the Pistons are going to use him? I mean, seen conversations about backup point guard possibly for him, maybe shooting guard. I don't know. But this is what I'll just say about, Marcus Sasser. We can kind of, wrap up the podcast and give you guys my final conclusion of this first summer league game is I think he will be fine. Don't overreact. It's one summer league game. He could come out next game and drop 30. You never really know. You just don't. But to wrap up this podcast and my final conclusion, what I liked was Ron Holland's activeness, his ability just to take it to the rack. He almost had a dunk where he put someone on a poster and he hit both of his free throws after he did get fouled. I really like Bobby Klintman. I think he stole the show. He was my player of the game tonight. Showed it on both ends, hit threes, showed the ability to pass the basketball, and made some good defensive plays. I think defensively he's got very good instincts, and I think he can do a little bit of everything really well. Really like that. Jenkins, really like his pace. Think he's a player to keep an eye on. If you are the Pistons, maybe he will be in the Motor City Cruise. Never know. Gonna have to wait and see. And just don't overreact to Marcus Sasser having a one bad game in the summer league for the Detroit Pistons. I honestly think he will be fine. He will be okay. Every player is going to have a bad game eventually. But the Pistons do play their next summer league game on Monday against the Houston Rockets. Now, the Pistons-Rockets summer league game. That'll be 6:30 on Monday on NBA TV. So that'll be the next summer league game. But let me know down below in the comment section what you guys thought of Ron Holland, Bobby Klintman, Tolu Smith, who I was pretty impressed with tonight, Jenkins, Marcus Sasser, or maybe there's a player that I didn't mention in this short little podcast that you were impressed with tonight. I'll talk to you guys down below in the comment section. Like always, I hope you guys are staying safe. Take care, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.